And we say good morning to you. We are broadcasting live today at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City on a gorgeous Wednesday, the 18th day of the month. Hard to believe. Clicking them off. Clicking them off. Clicking them off. Wow. Keep on keeping on. We say good morning to... Hello, Mrs. Larimer. How are you? We're here live again at Chick-fil-A at her place, Tim Birchfield's place. And for a lot of people, it's your place. This place rocks all the time. So thanks for being with us. Full show today. We're going to be joined by Andrew Smith, sports writer of the Johnson City Press, Stacy Carter, head football coach at Science Hill, joins us. Also, Mr. Baseball. Man, I got a whole stack of baseball stuff over here. The Braves. Man, and of course, they got a chance this weekend. It's not all over yet. But they're now 2 games behind in the wild card to the Mets. The Mets have jumped over the Diamondbacks, so New York playing some excellent baseball here down the stretch. We'll talk about that. The Phillies, the Yankees. We'll take all that under wraps. We'll get with Mr. Baseball coming up later in the show. Got some interesting stories to start the show with involving college football. It's interesting. Tennessee, Florida State, Clemson, the state of Georgia. Hello, Danny Birchfield. He's a good man right there. So let's get it started as we always do. It is race week, by the way. Seeing more and more campers coming in, which is great for our economy. A lot of campers coming in. Going to be a great race. It's the cutoff race for the opening round of the playoffs. Watkins Glen last week, Atlanta the first week. Joey Logano won. Chris Buescher, a non-playoff participant, wins last week. And Watkins Glen, so who's going to win in Bristol? And who's going to get cut out of the championship run? As it is down to Sirius. See, yep. It's right here, I promise you. By the way, Ross Chastain will be coming to Gray Friday, 7:30 for our personal appearance, sign autographs. So, yep, here it is. I know I had it. So your cutoff guys right now are Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., and Harrison Burton. So they're coming to Bristol, racing tomorrow night, the truck race. It's a doubleheader. Tomorrow night, Friday night, the Xfinity race at Bristol. Then Saturday, the Bass Pro Shop night race. So they're here, and it's a big weekend, particularly for the Cup Series. As we said, you start with 16. And after this race, we'll whittle it down to 12 guys racing for a championship for 2024, which is what it's all about. That's what you're out there for week in and week out on the grind, trying to win a NASCAR championship. All right, let's get it going. Who's going to sing it today? All of them are good. How about Martina McBride? We'll take a look at some college sports here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets like the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, yeah, and the home of the brave.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Hello, Tate. You doing good? I remember the day, son. You could bring it, though, back in the day. Oh, yeah. He could bring it. He could throw the smoke. We say good morning to you. Thanks for being with us. So let's see what's going on. Are you ready to pay? Hello, sir. How you doing? You doing fine? I know that. It's a good answer. Good comeback. Let's take a look. All right, so if you're a Tennessee season ticket holder, you probably know this by now, but nonetheless, here we go. They're going to add a 10% fee, talent fee, to your tickets for next year. Tennessee will add a 10% premium charge to tickets that will go directly to athletes starting the 2025 season tickets. After the Vols reached 20 wins over the last 2 years, for the first time in decades, Tennessee football season ticket holders are projected an increase of an additional 4.5% on their tickets. Tennessee says we will continue to grow our other revenue streams and be efficient with our expenses to maximize the anticipated full revenue share allotment. There you go. So if you're a Tennessee fan, football fan in particular, you will see an increase in your tickets for next year. So as part of the plan, Tennessee will add a 10% premium charge to tickets that will go directly to athletes starting the 2025 season. You're going to help pay for the athletes whether you want to or not. That's what it comes down to. How do you feel about that? If you're a season ticket holder for the Tennessee football program, adding a 10% premium charge. Okay, you're on top of Rocky Top now, and we hope it stays that way. But what happens if we take a dip? I mean, we're on a crest right now. Things are rosy in Knoxville, and understandably so. But what happens if we take a dip in the old win-loss column, and they're still saying we need 10% to pay these guys? It's okay now, and I get it. Yeah, maybe that won't happen. But if it does, how does the fan base respond to it? So anyway, that's what's going on down in Tennessee, down in Knoxville. In Georgia, schools there now have legal coverage to immediately begin paying their athletes directly, according to an executive order signed with the governor in Georgia yesterday morning. Governor Brian Kemp signed an order that prohibits, it's going to get interesting, prohibits the NCAA or athletic conferences from punishing any university or college in Georgia for offering compensation or compensating an intercollegiate student athlete, male or female, for the use of such student athletes' NIL. So basically, Georgia, along with Virginia, is taking it upon themselves to say, you know, here's how we're going to do this. Hello, Amy Watson. How you doing, dear? So this is what happens when you don't have a blanket ruling. It is a state-by-state ruling, which is okay to a point. So the governor of Georgia says yesterday we can start paying our kids immediately, our student athletes in the state of Georgia. Sign an order that prohibits the NCAA from punishing any university or college in Georgia for offering compensation to their student athletes. Oh, boy. NCAA rules currently prohibit schools. Here's what's happening. And you know this because you're a smart person. The NCAA is getting kicked to the curb. They are losing all, I don't know, when they bark, there ain't no bite in their bark. How about that? I mean, the governor of Georgia said, we're not going to fool with that. We're going to do what we want to. NCAA rules currently prohibit schools from directly paying athletes for the rights to use their name, image, and likeness. The order in the state of Georgia effective immediately. Same thing was passed in July by the Virginia legislature, doing the very same thing. So neither Georgia nor Georgia Tech, the two big schools in the state, have plans to start paying their players immediately. But the executive order from the governor gives them that opportunity and option to do it if they want to. NCAA, very, very little power now. I mean, all these conferences, the SEC, the ACC, the Big Ten, in particular those two, SEC and the Big Ten's like, yeah, whatever. We're going to do what we want to do. I mean, they came out last year and said, you know, push us, and we'll circle the wagons. We'll start our own conference. We'll just completely break away from the NCAA. Still says what's going to happen. I think the Power 5 conferences, before it's all said and done, will unite, pull themselves together, create their own super league, and the NCAA will be in charge from there on out of, this is my opinion, managing the mid-majors and down, the smaller schools, the ETSUs, the Middle Tennessee States, the Eastern Kentuckys, on that level. And the big boys going to say, see, you're with their own thing. I mean, here's another, now the governor of Georgia gets involved, which it's his prerogative to do that. But the point is, when there's no blanket statement, there's no blanket ruling, and again, we'll go back to the discussion we had last week or 2 weeks ago when the judge on this 22 billion? I can't remember what the number is now. This huge amount of money sitting out there to be distributed to athletes. So she says, I don't like the wording. Come back in 3 weeks with something new. It's dead in the water. So over and above everything else going on, now they're trying, the lawyers are scrambling to redo the wording to appease this judge. So she will sign off on it and get the ball rolling. And then you go, okay, well, who gets the money? I mean, it is like a juggernaut out there. And there's so many spokes to this wheel. So while you're waiting on this antitrust lawsuit to be approved by the judge, and then we start the process of who gets the money. In the meantime, you have states now, this case yesterday, Georgia saying, we're going to forget what the NCAA says. Governor Kim signing an order that prohibits the NCAA or athletic conferences from punishing any university or college in Georgia for offering compensation to their kids. So basically, they just flipped off and just brushed right by the NCAA. I wouldn't say brushed, I'd say kicked them to the curb. Anyway, that's what's going on there. Interesting. Then, always fun when I get up every morning and say, hey, what's going on in the world of sports? Now, Clemson and Florida State, I just talked about this Monday. I said, wonder what's going on. I haven't heard anything about this much. Have not heard about this very much, what I should say. Talks between Clemson, Florida State, and the ACC have ramped up on a proposal that would allow a greater share of revenue to schools based on brand valuation and television ratings, meaning Clemson and Florida State are the big dogs in the ACC. I think everybody knows that. And so they're talking about that and also altering the expiration of the league's grant of rights. What's that mean? That means when you can leave, which currently runs through 2036. So we're going to take a look at, we're going to give you more of the pot, bigger percentage of the pot, we being the ACC, you being Florida State and Clemson, in exchange for you dropping your lawsuits against the conference and staying put, which they said, okay, we'll talk about that. So, conversations represent a strong signal that Florida State and Clemson are open to remaining in the ACC under more favorable financial terms. The squeaky wheel gets her grease. Hello, Linda Pierce. How you doing, lady? We're live here again at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. The proposal formulated by Clemson and Florida State and discussed by the league's presidents during Tuesday's regular scheduled presidents' meeting includes additional money going to schools with better ratings, success in football and basketball. It all comes down to the money. It's real simple. And I know it's like, duh. Tell me something I don't know, Tom. Last year, the ACC distributed an average of $44 million, roughly $7 million less than the Southeastern Conference. Most of the Southeastern Conference schools got $52 million per school. So Clemson and Florida State said, you give me a bigger cut of the action, and I'll stick around. It's basically what they're saying. And the president said, okay, we're all right. That may be a good thing because, let's face it, if Florida State and Clemson leave the ACC to go somewhere else, I mean, you can put a fork in that league. I mean, it'll be okay. It won't be a bad league, a bad conference, ACC, without Clemson and Florida State, but they don't have the oomph. Of course, Florida State's having a tough year in football. That's not been the norm, of course. Clemson's to be determined how they're going to finish out. So, but still, name recognition. I mean, you've got Virginia Tech, NC State, Wake Forest. I'm leaving somebody out, of course. Louisville. All good schools, great brands, but the brands for the ACC, no question. Clemson and Florida State, and they know that. And they're holding it over their head. So we'll see how it goes. But Clemson, Florida State said, you give us more money, we'll drop the lawsuits, and we'll stay put. Interesting. Verse of the day, we always dedicate our show to the man that hung on the cross. We do that unashamedly. Coming up, Andrew's here. We're going to pop him on early here because he's chomping, and that's good. We like when he's chomping at the bit to talk. Let's see what we got here. Is it? Yep. Psalm 66:20. What a verse. Praise be to God. Now, we don't deserve what he does for us. Praise be to God who has not rejected my prayer. We don't live for him. We don't do anything we should. I'm saying us in general populace, mankind. Praise be to God who has not rejected my prayer or withheld his love from me. Praise be to God who has not rejected my prayer or withheld his love from me. How about that? Psalm 66:20. You know what? I realized I did not go get a bell yesterday. It's a crazy day after I got off the air. They're always crazy, seems like. That's okay. But I did not get a chance to get a bell to go bing, because that's a binger. Psalm. Maybe I'll just do that, a redneck bell. Bing. Psalm 66:20, the verse of the day here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Hello to Sherry Spangler. How you doing, lady? Marlon, Randy Boyd. They're volleyballers. We appreciate that very much. Brandon Britt. Jimmy Stout. Hello, sir. Robin Benfield. Dixie McDuffie. She was one of the ladies honored the other night with the volleyball at Elizabethton High School. 50-year anniversary of volleyball. And we appreciate her. Andrew Smith in the house. Andrew Smith coming up. Here's Brent Venables, head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. Talking about his former fellow coach, Josh Heupel, going back to Boomer Sooner Saturday. Heupel's downplaying it. It's just another game. It's not just another game. He got fired from the coach out there. He took him to a national championship. They haven't won one since. So it is a big deal. And I understand why he's downplaying it. He's focusing on this football team. It's got a chance to be really special this year. And this game on Saturday is going to be a big test for the Tennessee Volunteers, no question. So Heupel says, nah, we're just going to go out there and play football. Well, you know better than that, and I know better than that. But he's classy enough to guard his feelings and not start throwing stones. Because in the press conference, they start trying to, dig up, are you mad? Are you upset? It's like, guys, just let it go. Just let it go. That was way back down the road. But Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Vols will go to Oklahoma on Saturday evening. We'll get a man's take on it. Here's Brent Venables talking about the day when he coached alongside Josh Heupel.
I was speaking about Josh earlier. I have this deep appreciation for Josh, certainly first and foremost as a player, to experience my first national championship as a coach. I've always looked back and said, man, we couldn't have done it without Hype. His leadership, what he was able to do from a transformation standpoint to our locker room, the guts and the toughness that he played through that 2000 season. So I've always held him up here on this pedestal when it comes from a player standpoint. No surprise, as a coach's son, the level of success that he has had as a coach. I've stayed in touch with him pretty much every step of the way through this process. We competed on the field in 2014, and he went to Utah State and then to Central Florida and then to Tennessee. And so we've stayed in touch through those moments of success and some of the moments that the challenges of a football season will bring you. So a great friend, he and his wife Dawn and their children, really good friends of ours, and just really happy for him and the success that he's had. No surprise. He's always been a winner.
As soon as Mr. Steve walks in, it's like a ray of sunshine has entered our restaurant.
Sure is nice to hear.
For his 100th birthday, we wanted to do it as big as possible.
That was someday, I'll tell you.
Customers came in, brought gifts and cards.
When I walked in and they all clapped, that was quite a surprise to me.
It's a really warm feeling in your heart to know that your father's got other people looking out for him.
We decided to give him free Chick-fil-A for life.
One of my main reasons I want to live forever.
I think you got it in you.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, look who stopped by. I want to put my glasses on because he's got his on. So I can be buddies. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, brother. Always good to be back.
That's it. Love having you on the show. They do too out there in internet world. Let's take a look at the polls. You start in 6A. He'll be here in a few minutes. Stacy Carter, head football coach at Science Hill, as the Hilltoppers are 10th in the state. They'll take on Maryville, 3rd in the state, on Friday night. We'll get your take on that here in a second. As far as other local teams, Dobbins-Bennett, nope, nothing there. In 5A, nobody in our region is in 5A. Top team is top 3 team. Let's go top 5. Page, Sevier County, Powell, Beach, and Southwind. 6A, top 5 in the state right now this week. Murfreesboro, Oakland, Germantown, Houston, Maryville, Ravenwood, and Cleveland. 4A football, Upperman, Anderson County, Dyer County, Pearl Cone, Marshall County, the top 5. Greenville falls from number 2 to number 6. Elizabeth still get honorable mention votes. Still haven't cracked the top 10 yet. In 3A football, top 5, Alcoa, East Nashville, Covington, Westview, Meigs County. Unicoi County, number 6. Johnson County, number 8. Good to see there in 3A. 2A football, East Robertson, Marion County, Milan, Decatur County, Riverside, and Fairleigh your top 5. None local in 2A football, although Happy Valley gets an honorable mention. Then in single A, I knew it was coming. Single A, McKenzie, Gordonsville, Whitwell, Coalfield, Oliver Springs. And local teams, Cloudland got an honorable mention vote. So there you go. That's what's going on in the polls. So you got a big one right around the corner here from where we are. Friday night, Maryville coming to town. One of the barometers, I guess. We'll find that out from Coach Carter. But Science Hill, Maryville's Hilltoppers got anything for them?
I think so. Science Hill's been playing some really good football. Obviously, they've been led by Baylor Necessary on both sides of the football, running the ball and linebacker. That kid seems like he's everywhere. You turn on the tape, you got to find him. But it's obviously a huge test for Science Hill. Maryville has not lost to a team up in this part of the state, up in northeast Tennessee, in quite some time. So, tall task, but you get them here in Johnson City, which is definitely a big help for the Hilltoppers and Stacy Carter.
You would think Science Hill come out and droves this game Friday night. I mean, it's not DB, but it's still a big football game. Mm-hmm. And you would hope that the Hilltopper fan base will come out in big numbers to watch that game Friday night, because it's one of the big boys. It's big boy football coming to town. Maryville, tradition-rich, lots of state championships behind their name, and so we'll see what they can do and how they can do it coming up on Friday night. Dobbins-Bennett goes to Asheville, North Carolina. I don't know anything about Asheville except it's usually a perennial powerhouse over yonder. So does DB get this win on the road?
It's going to be another tall task. Asheville, another very tradition-rich program. Also the alma mater of former Tennessee Vol Leonard Little, Asheville High School. But, very tall task. It was a good game here in Kingsport last year. DB now making the return trip. For the Indians, it's all about staying healthy, making sure the running back Tegan Begley stays healthy. And, it's going to be a tall task, but should be a fun football game there on the other side of the state line.
Some of the other games, Crockett will be at Cocke County, Tennessee High hosting Sevier County, Sullivan East at Granger. Greenville will go to Morristown West. West beat Daniel Boone, 38-0 last week. West, pretty good football team. So is Greenville. They're coming off that loss to Alcoa. So who wins that one in Morristown Friday night?
I'm going to lean Greenville. I mean, the Green Devils are coming off a loss, but it's Alcoa. It's kind of one of those where obviously you want to go win that game for Greenville, but there's also no shame in falling to a team like the Tornadoes. So Morristown West, a strong team this year, but I'll still lean Greenville until somebody else can, around here at least, can dethrone them.
Volunteer Cloudland had the week off, by the way. You have Happy Valley, head coach Jared on yesterday, going to Eagleton Academy. Tall task there, but it's a game in the region. Both are undefeated right now. It's a big ball game for both teams, and hopefully the Warriors can go on the road and get a W.
Yeah, I think I've been most impressed with the defense here for Happy Valley in the first part of the season. They did a phenomenal job slowing down the Hampton running game this past Friday. Very strong defense. They won last week without throwing a pass, so it's run the ball and stop the run for Jason Jarrett and the Warriors, and so far they've done a really good job of doing that.
We're here at Chick-fil-A, the honey pepper pimento sandwich. You can get it the grilled or the spicy or the regular. Also, the banana pudding milkshake will set you free. It's good stuff. Ooh, have one just about every day, which I don't need, but I get them anyway. What the heck? So the peach milkshake is gone. A lot of folks I've talked to said it's better than the peach. So it's good. It's banana pudding milkshake. Of course, they have everything else on the regular menu. The biggest seller they have is the traditional number one. That's just the regular chicken sandwich. It's still the number one seller at Chick-fil-A, both here and around the country, nationwide. So you jump out of this one, you've got the Cyclones and Daniel Boone playing at East Tennessee State Friday night. We're going to air the broadcast at 6:20. And so you've got the Cyclones and the winless Daniel Boone Trailblazers. Last time we played over there was a 7-0 win by Daniel Boone, so it's the last time we played them. Didn't play them last year. They didn't want to play. Well, it got canceled, but the attempts to remake it, I don't think were – anyway, we didn't play last year. And so we got them this year at East Tennessee State, and they've not won a game. That's very obviously uncharacteristic of a Jeremy Jenkins football team. So what's your take, Cyclones and Trailblazers Friday night?
Yeah, Daniel Boone, obviously you mentioned a very uncharacteristic start for them to the season, but I'll tell you what, they're still playing hard. They're not a team that you can overlook if you're Elizabethan, no matter what the record says. They're going to be tough. Jeremy Jenkins is going to establish the line of scrimmage, so that's certainly an area you have to look out for Elizabethan, but you've been strong doing that here the first few weeks. It's not like it's anything new. I know that's something Sean Witten likes to make sure his teams are strong in the line of scrimmage. They want to match physicality, be the more physical team, and also when you have a quarterback like Rhett Slagle, it also helps open up the passing game a little bit there too.
Yep. Defense, at the start of a season, normally any coach would say the defense is more zoned in or honed in than the offense, and I think the Cyclone offense is catching up now with the defense. Things are starting to click, starting to get a rhythm, if you will, in their offense. As you said, behind number 8, Rhett Slagle's got it going. He's threw for one, ran for one, and, again, he throws it. God, he's got an incredible cannon. What was interesting the other night, he threw an interception, and so he makes the tackle. Kid comes down the near sideline. He thinks he's going running for a touchdown, and he got hit. As we say back home, he got mail-sacked. I mean, Rhett Slagle absolutely lowered the boom on him, knocked him out of bounds. It was a frustration hit, I'm sure. Plus, it was a touchdown-saving hit. So, Rhett can lay the lick to you if you need to as well. An incredibly good baseball player. So, Cyclone offense beginning to click. You've got the boys behind him. You got the train. Had 106 yards. The other one, Justice Wallen, had 111, if I remember correctly. So, two-headed monster running the ball. Whitehead's catching it. Jack Blevins is catching it. Bryson Rowland's catching it. So, a lot of weapons to be concerned about if you're Daniel Boone. We'll see. Friday night, we're going there at 6:20. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff this week, and it'll be at East Tennessee State University. And we'll have that for you right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. All right, so Tennessee rolls in, the Boomer Sooner on Saturday night to take on the Oklahoma Sooners. Everybody's talking about Heupel going back and the return, and he's downplaying it. Took him to a national championship, the last quarterback to do that for Oklahoma to win a national championship was Josh Heupel. So he got fired as a coach. Stoops fired him as the offensive coordinator the year that he canned him. So, but Heupel says, that's all behind me. I'm focusing on the football game. Is it all behind him?
I think he's saying the right things. He's saying the right things publicly, but I think there's definitely a part of him that has a little bit still hanging around from an unceremonious exit from Norman the last time he was there. But and he's got a very strong team behind him coming into this game at Oklahoma. Obviously, everybody likes to talk about Heupel and his offenses, but, man, does he have a defense that can really win them some football games. Disruptive front. They're always coming after the quarterback, clogging up running lanes. He's got a strong team coming with him this year.
Well, there again, the story on Heupel, because he's always been known to have a high-powered offense. So when he came to Tennessee, will he have a defense that will match his offense? Obviously he does. Now, we played Kent State, we played NC State, and we played UT Chattanooga. Okay. World beaters? No. Not any stretch of the imagination. In fact, NC State, that's kind of a proven game this week for them against Clemson. So, talent or the strength of schedule, But, everybody else has played cream puffs too, as it's turned out. So we'll see how it rolls, but this will be the first test. I think the key is the defensive line. They get in the backfield and rattle his cage, as it is every ball game. It always is one of the trenches. We talk about this every week. But I think Tennessee has a really good shot going out there and getting a big W and heading back to Neyland for Arkansas. But we'll see. But I'm like you. I think it very much weighs on him. He's only human. Nobody likes to get dumped, whether it's from a girl or a coach or a job, or nobody likes to get rejected in any way, shape, or form, and he did. So it may be a saving grace to him to go out there and put one on him. get back on that plane and go. I got my revenge by thrashing them on their field. So we'll see. But that's what's happening on Saturday night. Let's see what's the other big games this week. Not too many big ones. Michigan and Southern Cal. Michigan didn't really set the world on fire against Arkansas State. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I mean, Southern Cal, they really impressed me a lot going back to their Week 1 win against LSU. A lot of the questions, similar with Josh Heupel, with Lincoln Riley teams, is can he have a defense? We know he can coach offense, but does he have a defense? And that defense showed well against a pretty good LSU team, as we saw this past week at South Carolina. And Michigan, you mentioned the Arkansas State game, they did not look very good at all against Texas 2 weeks ago. That certainly still kind of looms in the back of your mind. At least it looms in the back of my mind.
Yep, probably
as
him
you
too.
head into a big game against Southern Cal. I lean Trojans in this one, and I think it's going to be because their defense can make a couple stops against. You got to think about it. This Michigan team lost so much talent to the National Football League, including its head coach. But J.J. McCarthy, offensive line talent. It's going to be an uphill rebuild, or may not a complete reset rebuild, but a rebuild nonetheless for Michigan and Sherrone Moore. And that will continue this Saturday, I believe.
Yep, I think you're exactly right. So you've got, looking down through here, Clemson, NC State, Ohio State, Marshall. That's going to be the upset pick of the week. My Thundering Herd will go into Ohio State and beat them like a snare drum.
Did you see?
Mark it down.
Did you see the quote that Marshall's coach had? I believe it was yesterday. Kind of said, hey, if any of those Ohio State guys want to come over here, we can get you all-you-can-eat biscuits with our NIL deal.
All-you-can-eat biscuits. Come join our team. That's exactly what he said. Hello, Bob Chapman. Hello to Mike Fitzpatrick. Hello to Pete Crystal Slagle. Thank you, ladies and kids, for watching, and ladies and guys. Patsy Lyons, Judy Potter. Thank you all for being with us very much. We're live here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Stacy Carter joins us coming up here in a minute. You've got it's really not LSU, UCLA, not a bad game, I guess. Notre Dame, 17th in the country, playing Miami, Ohio. Notre Dame, for real, they overrated.
I mean, they lost to Northern Illinois. It's hard to shake that. They got right against Purdue, but Purdue I wouldn't necessarily call a world beater. So a lot of questions. I think for Notre Dame, the talent of their roster leaves them much less room for error than like a Georgia or a Texas or an Alabama. Things have to be working pretty well, even against not great competition for Notre Dame. So color me skeptical on the Fighting Irish.
Tennessee announcing yesterday going to add 10% on your tickets for next year to help pay for the student athletes at the University of Tennessee. So I don't think anybody has any problem paying for them now. What happens if we start, and I hope it doesn't happen, what happens if we start going, things don't go as well as they're going right now? We're sixth in the country, and everybody's, yeah, okay, I'll write that check now. But then we start slipping a little bit. It's like, well, I don't know if I'm going to pay for Andrew Smith or not. So what do you think? As a ticket holder, which way are you leaning on this one?
I mean, I get the vision that Danny White had trying to institute this of, hey, we're entering a new era. We're going to try and do some revenue sharing with our players. It's from an athlete perspective, it's certainly a very cool thing to see come into play. That I'm not just relying on my car dealerships and Beats by Dr. Dre and whoever else might want to come sponsor me as an athlete or maybe a position group. It's going to be, hey, the university is going to be cutting us a check. Like in the NFL, you go buy a ticket to watch the Tennessee Titans, you're paying to watch Will Levis,
sure,
and a cut of that goes to his contract. So that's kind of the vision there for Danny White. And, I think as of now, people are cool with it. But, yeah, if you start seeing Tennessee start to slip down to 7-8 wins a year instead of 9, 10, 11, it's questions will be asked.
Well, and I hope it doesn't happen, obviously.
Yeah.
Hello to Miss Clowney in South Carolina. So, and what will happen, this is the new one. So Tennessee's going to do it. You watch and see if other schools don't come in by and go, you know what? They got a good idea. We're going to do it too. So Tennessee, if you missed it, will start next year adding a 10% talent fee to your season ticket holders to help pay for the NIL. So then you get into, all right, where's my 10% going to? Going to the Lady Vols, going to the track team, going to the football team. Where's it going to? I would assume purely an assumption, if they're tacking on to the season ticket holders for football, it's going to go to the football team. Well, then you go, okay, Lady Ball tickets may go up, so they can put money, pay the girls. And, oh, by the way, baseball just won a national championship. Their tickets may go up, so we can pay the baseball players. So I assume, purely an assumption, the money that is going to be on these season tickets for football will go to the football team. Wouldn't you think?
I would think so. I mean, I don't know exactly. Nobody really knows how it'll work quite yet 'cause it's not in practice yet. But I would think the sport you buy the ticket for would be the corresponding athletes that 10% goes to.
That's
Just
what
my
I think.
thought.
And it opens up a whole new can of worms because there's the Lady Vols. There's the national championship, defending national champion baseball team. Who's going to pay them some money? We're going to raise ticket prices there, so across the board, it may go up. I don't know. So, but that's above my pay grade. I'm sitting here getting ready to go to the break. You're going to get something to eat. We'll be right back after this. See you next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, back after this. We're live again, show number 2150, 2,150th show of the Tom Taylor Sports Show live at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. One of our great sponsors on Cyclone Football, again, the great folks at Ivy Hall Nursing Home. Joseph Taylor, tell us what it's all about.
Yes, sir. We specialize in short-term rehab or long-term care. We accept all major insurances. We accept Medicare, Medicaid. What we really love is people that come in that have had a knee replacement, hip replacement, come to Ivy Hall for some inpatient rehab. We have physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. We have a full-time respiratory therapist. And Tom, you can see I'm a big guy, so you know I like food. I know good food, and Ivy Hall specializes in home-cooked meals, three good meals a day. You can catch me every day right at the door getting my tray myself.
There you go. That's awesome. How do we find out more about Ivy Hall on social media?
Yes, sir. We have a Facebook page, Ivy Hall Nursing Home on Facebook, or a website, ivyhallnursing.com.
One of our great sponsors, folks. Glad to have them on board. Ivy Hall Nursing Home on Cyclone Sports and the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
This is Pastor Fallow, Pleasant Beach Baptist Church in Elizabethton, and we'd love to have you come be with us. You and your family be with us on Sunday. I'm standing here in the lobby at our visitors table, our welcome table, and there's packets made up with tells you a little more about the church and get acquainted card, and then also a mug and some things in there for you to take with you to remind you to pray for us. And we've got a place for you and your family. We want you to come. Our goal is for you to know the Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior. But beyond that, to find your purpose and contentment in life of knowing Him, walking with Him, and serving Him each day. And so we want you and your family to come be with us Sunday morning, Sunday night, or Wednesday night. We're looking forward to seeing you soon. You can find a little more information about us online at pleasantbeachbaptist.com.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, look who stopped by. Our buddy, hello, Rick Ranson down in Pensacola. Rick, what's the weather like down in Pensacola today? It'd be a good day for me to be down and put my big toe in the ocean. Be a good place to earn the golf in this case. So, what is the weather like, sir, in Pensacola, Florida today? It's beautiful up here. Late summer day, the rains came through and greened things up. The Lord gave us a lot of rain, and so we needed that. So, Hello to you. Hello to Cody Taylor. Thank you all for being with us. You see who's on the screen. Our buddy Stacy Carter joins us from the Science Hill Hilltoppers. Big win. The running back was the real deal, wasn't he? The kid from Union last week. He was a load, wasn't he? We talked about it.
He was a load, and he was a tough kid too, and he just kept coming. I mean,
Yeah.
he was and took a lot of hits too, but he was a very good player, just a junior. Very good defensive player and offensive player, but they really, I think they kept the ball for about 8 minutes on the first of the game, and a lot of that was good hard running and just moving the chains, and finally we got the ball back and was able to do a little something with it.
They win 31-7. Spencer Taylor had a heck of a football game, didn't he?
He did. We needed that. It was a little rough at Jeff County for our passing game, so we're able to throw the ball downfield a little bit and help us out a lot. I think it'll help us down the road also.
So the old adage is from the start of the season, defense is usually more in tune than offense. Offense catches up as the season goes on. Are you finding it to be true with Science Hill? The offense starting to click more and more each game now?
It is, and I think it's clicking. I still would think, our defense, if you just look at our overall strength of the team, it's our defense. And but our offense is playing better each game, and a lot of them the same kids, of course, so it's not. But it seems like we're getting smoothing it out and being able to use our power game with Baylor, and also just doing our normal we call it 11 personnel with our tight end and our spread sets, and we're doing pretty good with that now.
So again, we mention him every week. Baylor Necessary was a man among boys another week, wasn't he? He's tough.
Fantastic. He had an interception, I believe. He had 16 tackles and, had the first touchdown. We didn't run him, I don't think, any after the first series, which is good. He needed a break. So, but he played tremendous again.
In that 2 weeks in a row, he had 16 tackles?
Had 16 tackles. I mean, it was a good week for him.
Wow.
Got an offer from ETSU this week, which is good, and so things are stepping up for him. Just a great young man.
So if I'm right, did he not have 16 tackles against? Who'd you play the week before? They're all running together. Did you play Jeff
County
yeah.
The week before? Absolutely, yes, he did.
So he's had 32 tackles in 2 weeks.
He did, and he had a lot against Elizabethton too. He's a good player.
Rick says it's sunny in the mid-80s today down in Pensacola, Florida. Whew. Are you a beach guy, by the way? You like the beach?
My wife and my little girl does, and I'm just okay with it. How about that? It's okay. It's fun, but visit for a few days.
That's it. That's like Dorothy said, ain't no place like home, is there?
No place like home. My wife knows that too.
Amen. So anyway, it's sunny mid-80 down in Pensacola. Thanks, Rick, for watching. Rick is grew up together in West Virginia. He's become a fan of the show, and he actually is a fan of the Cyclones. I don't think he said he's ever been to Elizabethton or Tri-Cities or Tennessee. So we made him a fan, so we appreciate that. Grew up with him. We had a lot of good times together growing up in the hills of West Virginia. Maryville comes in Friday night, 3rd in the state. Science Hill, 10th in the state. Big matchup. It's going to be a lot of statewide attention being in this football game. Maryville's Maryville, and Science Hill's coming. So what do you think? Give us a preview of the Rebels for this year.
Well, it's a better team than they had last year, and they had a good team. They took some lumps the first of the year, and it kind of kept getting better and better as the season went. And a lot of these kids are back. Have a sophomore starting at quarterback. I think his first start last year was as a freshman against us, and it just kept getting better and better as the season went. And now he has a lot of experience. Has the defensive side. I think they've only given up 14 points, and that was against Knox West, so not too shabby of a team right there. So it's definitely tough, but we think we've got a really good football team also. So I think, definitely a really good defensive matchup when you look at it.
I would hope, of course, we're going to be at East Tennessee State with Daniel Boone. I would hope the Hilltopper fan base, this is not Dobbins Minute. It's a big ball game. It's a big chance, and so I would hope the stands will be full of the Hilltopper Nation to watch this game Friday night. This man, his team deserves it. All the high school teams deserve it, for that matter. But certainly this is biggie, as they say, and so I hope Science Hill's fans will turn out with the game Friday night because they're going to be treated to a good football game. This young man's got a good football team. We saw that week number 1, and obviously they're getting better each week. So are they where you want them to be right now, or is that a goofy question to ask a coach middle of the season, the halfway point? A, B, C, or D, how would you grade them right now?
Well, I think we're a B. I think we have improvement, especially on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. But we have, I think we're, closing the gap. I think we're getting better each week. And, we took some lumps against Jeff County. I think the game all kind of hurt us. I don't think that ever helps us. We knew it would. So, we're kind of getting into, flow of things now. We're getting better.
Get into a groove, a pattern. Because for those of you who don't know, the Anderson County game got lightninged out. It's not going to be made up. I don't think Morristown West is going to make up our game with Elizabethton either. And it's very tough. We talked about this off air before we got started here. The fact that, you get your kids braced for a 10-game season, and they don't play 10 games. They play 9, they may play 8, depending on circumstances. That's very tough to cheat a kid, for lack of a better term, or knock them out of a chance to play a 10-game schedule. It's kind of tough, but, you can't do anything about the weather. And then you and I were talking, when do you make them up? We made one up on Sunday last year. That really didn't fly too well in the Bible Belt, but you had to do what you had to do. So when do you make them up? And it's very tough to play 2 games 1 week, isn't it?
It's about impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, just for the health of the kids, and it's hard when you miss a game. I mean, it's not like basketball and baseball where you have 3 or 4 games a week.
Yep.
So you have one game and you have all that practice time. So if you go 2 weeks without playing in football, it's just not good. It's not good for motivation. 10 games. I mean, you can only play that with the physicality of the game, of course. But it hurts. I mean, it does. And to make them up is almost impossible. And to get those weeks to match up on the off weeks, it's impossible. It just won't happen. So, it makes it tough when you lose one for lightning or weather delay.
Absolutely. We'll talk about the schedule here in a second. So, keys to win this football game Friday night. Maryville's coming. Everybody knows the tradition. The state championships, a lot of them hanging in Maryville. So, what's it going to take for the Hilltoppers to obviously be an upset? You're 10th in the state. They're 3rd in the state. What's it take for the Hill to win this thing?
Well, you got to be more physical than they are. I mean, because that's really how they end up beating. They end up when things are not going good for them, they get to run into football and they do it very, very, very well. And that's what they'll go back to. So if you don't meet that physical challenge, you're going to lose the game. So we're a physical football team. So what we got to do is push that and play, and then not try to do too much. I think sometimes people try to change their whole game plan and just try to make it smoke and mirror stuff. You can't do that and win a football game. So you just got to match up, play physical, and execute. Because a lot of times when you do those other things, you mess up. You have bad snap, bad execution. You don't want that. So you want to do what you do and be physical and just and see where that goes with it. 2 good football teams, see what happens.
Absolutely. And we were talking off here too. This year ends the two-year scheduling, so now everybody's sitting down and scheduling for next year. They also do the re-enroll, not the re-enrollment, but what I wanted to say, where they classify with the enrollment for next year. Is it 2 years or 4 years?
It's 2 years.
So we'll go through that process again. So you may be playing a 5A school or 4A school or 3A school, whatever. So that's that is taken into consideration. So have you started already putting out some feelers for next year's schedule?
Well, I think we start making phone calls even right now. I think TWAA said it's okay to do games 1 and 2. They haven't figured out the rest of them, but they kind of know those are going to be the non-conference games for sure for everybody. So people are starting to call people, starting to talk. So, it's a hard time. I mean, it's a lot of wheeling and dealing going on, people waiting on phone calls, people seeing who's going to play, and, everybody's trying to get the best schedule for themselves. But, some people are not going to have a great week. We try to take, usually we take all comers. We can get them in the schedule, we do, because it's, we had a time where we had to go to Nashville a couple times in the season, Brentwood Academy and Siegel. I mean, you don't want to go play a football game and start at daylight and come back at daylight, and that's happened to us before, so we want to keep from that.
Absolutely. And so hello, Lauren Harris, how you doing? So you get into reclassification, the word I was wanting to look for. So next year there'll be reclassification based on enrollment, so that'll change things to a point. That'll be the TWSAA's decision to do that. So what does it come down to? Science Hill, probably Dobyns-Bennett, and Elizabethton have reached a point where a lot of schools just don't want to play them. I mean, because of success, and it's not being cocky or arrogant. It's the way it is. I mean, I've heard the same thing from Sean. I've heard it from Joey Christian. You get on the horn, and it's like, Coach, we'd like to, but So we just saw this week. Wake Forest and Ole Miss. Ole Miss beats them 40-6. It's a home and away. They played in Winston-Salem. Wake Forest calls them Sunday and says, we're not coming down there next year. You need to go get another team. So you can't do that. If you're going to say you're going to play, you got to play. But so it becomes very tough. And you're in that scramble mode trying to find teams. Am I right? It's tough to get people to play.
Oh, it's very tough. In Greenville too, they have a hard time. So, you just you would like to see some of these local teams play each other as much as possible, like Elizabethton, us and Greenville, us and Dobyns-Bennett, in those games, because especially the teams that are having a hard time. Because first of all, you're going to get good fan support when you play the local ones like that.
Absolutely.
But a lot of times, you'll have to go. We like to keep Anderson County on the schedule. We like to keep Union on the schedule, but you never know. It's all a crapshoot when you start going. You don't know how it's going to end up. But it's stressful days and trying to figure out that you're going to fill that schedule. And I know Sean's had a hard time filling it, where he's only filled it with 8 games. You don't want to go down that road. And but it's tough. You try to get out of state teams. You try to get other teams. Everybody tries to hit up Asheville, North Carolina. Sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. So I know I've done that sometimes, but we're going to have to everybody we consider everybody that asks, because you don't know what's going to happen with it.
So that's where we are in scheduling. Hello to Josh Hensley. I want to say hello to Josh real quick. We talked about him on Friday night, and for those who don't know, Coach Hensley coaches Cherokee, and so in the course of the ball game, we found out, Coach Whitten told us in the postgame show, that his father passed away during the game. He had thyroid cancer. I got a very nice note from him this morning, by the way, Coach Hensley. So he and his brother coach on Cherokee's team, so Dad said, go and coach. And so he got on that bus in Rogersville and drove to Elizabethton, not knowing if he could see his dad again. And as it happened, the Lord took him home during the middle of the game. So as I said, as I put out a text on Saturday morning, sure puts things in perspective, sir, because no closure, no goodbye. You just got beat 41-13 your football team. You get back on the bus, keep their spirits up. Say, guys, we're going to do this, and try and keep them happy and circle the wagons for the football team. Then get back on the bus and ride back to Rogersville, knowing when you get there, your dad's gone. You've been there and I've been there for that. And then when you get there, you got a family that's brokenhearted coming off the bus. You got to deal with that. So my heart goes out to Josh Hensley and his brother. It was a tough night. As I said, and it's true, it puts everything into perspective. We're just a vapor here for a little while and we're gone. So football is what it is. You and I have talked about this many times over the years. Football's supposed to be, or sports supposed to be, one spoke in the wheel of life. But a lot of folks make it the spoke. And so that ain't the way it is. And you're a head football coach and you want to win as bad as anything. But I know Stacy Carter, we go back a long way, and he puts it all in perspective. And so our thoughts and prayers certainly go out to Josh Hensley, who's watching. And Coach, thank you, sir. And man, that was tough. Tough, isn't it?
Oh, that's tough. Anytime something happens like that, and there will be closure. Your believers, there'll be closure. As long as you're a believer in Christ, you know where you're going,
yeah.
And hopefully that's the case. And but it's a hard thing. But I understand his dad, had a job to do. My old man would have said the same thing.
Mine too.
You need to go and you need to do that. And I know when it happened to my father, we were in spring practice. Happened to him late in the night and practice the next day. We seen that a lot when we had Jake. He went through there, had his wake and everything during the week, but we practiced and still had to go on. We still got to move on and do our job and do things, but we do got to take time to parents like that push us and tell us to do things like that. But the good thing about if we're believers, we're going to be okay.
Absolutely. I appreciate Sean telling me about it, because I didn't know anything about it until he came up in the post game and said, that man walked across that field there, just lost his daddy in the middle of the football game. I can't even imagine. So there's nothing I can sit here and tell you, because I can't imagine being that man's spot. But he was a trooper. His daddy said go coach that game, and he did, and he lost his daddy during the game. So, again, our thoughts and prayers go out to Coach Hensley and his brother and his entire family as they kind of pick up the pieces and move on for the rest of the season. Friday night, getting ready for the big showdown, Science Hill, Maryville, and at Kermit Tipton Stadium. Once you get a big W, sir, next week you go to, I don't have your schedule in front of you. Where do you go?
William Blount. They're actually coming to our place. So
the Governor's coming.
Game, yes.
Yep. So you got back-to-back home games. So I know you get back to school, man. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Tom.
See you next Wednesday, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Hope they get them a big W for the Hilltoppers. So you know me, if you watch this show, once we're here and we start playing them over there, whether it's a state tournament or wherever, I'm pulling for the Tri-Cities teams. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Greenville. You cheer. If Greenville's playing Nashville, Overton, I'm pulling for Greenville. You better believe it, because I'm all about what goes on here in East Tennessee. So this is the way it is. So Science Hill's got the Maryville Rebels come to town. Pull them for the Hilltoppers. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this from the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Mr. Baseball's there. He joins us next on the Tom Douglas Sports.
We are not okay with the staggering statistics of our youth. They have become familiar with brokenness, pain, and frustration. But their pain has become our concern, and their hopes, our responsibility. But we want to see the world transformed by Jesus Christ through the influence of coaches and athletes. Our mission is to lead every coach and athlete into a growing relationship with Jesus and His church. But what can you do about it? What if your actions now can help the future them? Together, we can help them become who God has designed them to be. But the time is now, and the action we take today helps them tomorrow.
Tom Taylor Sports Show. Got a brand new product. Tell me what's going on.
We sure do. We have contactless Visa debit cards, and some of you all have been asking and wanting to know, when are you going to implement that? We are hitting the ground running. So right now you can get your free instant issue contactless debit cards at Northeast Community Credit Union, and that's just another form of payment. So you've got the mag strip on the back, you've got your contactless, invisible, what you want to call it, if you want to pay that way for tabless, or you've got your chip. So we're just staying up to date with all the things, and we listened to you. So you wanted that, and that's what we can provide. And we've implemented it with hard work, behind the scenes, a lot of teamwork, effort, and come get your contactless Visa debit card today.
Available now.
Yes.
At all locations. Our locations are?
They are in Roan Mountain. They are in Elizabethton, one in behind Elizabethton High School, our main office. And then we have one off of 19E in Elizabethton. We have one in Johnson City off of West Oakland Avenue.
Social media, how do we find you?
You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, or bemycu.org.
And the magic main number is?
423-547-1200.
Brand new product from Northeast Community Credit Union. Proud sponsor of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports. And back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Thanks to Northeast Community Credit Union with the contactless Visa. One of their great ladies from that institution, Kathy Campbell. She's going to be with me, I hope, on Friday. Hope so. That's the plan. Hello, Debbie Prophet. Hello to David Sweeney. Hello to Josh Hensley, Coach Hensley. Thank you, sir, again. Debbie Prophet, Carl Wilson, Vicki Campbell. We got her. Should I tell you yes or no? So tell me. I go through this every day. It drives me nuts. Do I tell or not tell? But the numbers. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, go ahead and tell.
For the month of August.
Yeah, go ahead and tell.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do a disclaimer. It's not about me. It's about the Lord and the Holy Spirit. It ain't about me. But the month of August, we had 141,729 views. So
wow,
that may mean nothing to you out there in the land of TikTok where there's millions and billions going around, but for what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish, giving the credit and honor to the Lord, 141,729 views for the month of August. So thank you. And so Pastor Stout said, son, it ain't bragging. We just tell people. Now, you say I'm wonderful, all that would be different, but you just put the number out there.
Yeah, just throw the number out there.
Keep trucking.
Yeah.
I threw it out. We'll keep trucking. I'm very proud of that. So, may not mean a hill of beans to you guys, but it's been a long. You were back in the beginning. You're around.
I was.
All the transition. We're getting ready
to
just order my last brand new piece of equipment. So we're going to transition this into a brand new level in the next 40 to 45 to 60 days. It's going to be a brand new look at this whole thing. So
awesome.
Yes. So you're going to be a part of it. Here we go, Mr. Baseball. Ready? Boom. Mr. Ohtani, 48 home run, hitting the upper deck. I mean, this guy crushed it on his way to the first 50-50 season ever in the history of baseball.
Yeah.
48th home run, stolen bases right around the same.
Yeah, 48 stolen bases, too.
48. So they got like 10 or 11 games to go.
Yeah, 11 games, I think.
11? Everybody? Yeah.
Well, for them at least. I don't think everybody, but for them.
Most everybody's going to go 10, 11, 12 games somewhere through there.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Ohtani, 50-50.
I wouldn't bet against him.
No. MVP? Hands down?
Yeah, I think so. I think so,
too.
Yeah.
Bobby Witt Jr., going where nobody's ever gone before.
Yeah, two-time 30-30.
Back-to-back 30 stolen bases and 30 home runs in back-to-back seasons. Only ones have ever done it once. He's done it 23 and 24, obviously. Francisco Lindor, the Mets. Hanley Ramirez, the Marlins. Jimmy Rollins, the Phillies. A-Rod and Barry Larkin of the Reds, and that's been it. So this guy, he's right there as an MVP consideration too, but he won't get it because of Ohtani, I wouldn't think.
Well, he's in the American League, so it'd be Judge probably.
I'm sorry, Judge and Ohtani.
Yeah, it'll be Judge.
Judge and Ohtani.
But he's the only one really pushing Judge for it, I think. I think he'll get some votes.
Oh, absolutely.
He'll get some votes. He'll come in second. There's no way anybody will.
No, it's a two-horse race there, Judge.
It is.
And Witt, and of course, I think Ohtani's the one. I think he's your guy for National League.
Yeah.
Then you look at speaking of Judge and the Yankees, Juan Soto.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Hit a home run last night. He's hit one in every current stadium now.
Yes, he has.
Here's the quote of the day, though. I just want to get all of them checked in. What a way to go into free agency.
Yeah.
With all 30 ballparks checked off on the list, which means he's going to be shopping.
He is.
Yeah.
He's got an opt-out.
Yeah. That was
so.
Go ahead.
So he also has now tied Frank Robinson for the most home runs in his career for a player under 26 years old.
Wow.
So think about that. He and Frank Robinson, of course, they came up around the same age, about 19. You know, both of those guys were around that same age. But he and Frank Robinson are tied. And he's still got some games. I mean, he can.
Now say that again. It's a great stat.
So he has tied Frank Robinson for most career home runs under the age of 26 years old in Major League Baseball history.
It's pretty sweet. Very impressive. Hello, Vicki Campbell. How you doing? Miss Vicki, awesome lady. Her husband gave me this. I'll show you in a minute. This ID bracelet he gave me the other day. Love it. Won't take it off because Wade gave it to me. Hello, Rebecca Patterson. How you doing? So that is an incredibly cool stat.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
I keep thinking about it. That's Frank Robinson. You're in pretty good territory there.
That's exactly right.
Pretty good company.
Yeah.
All right, then you look on the pitching side of things. The Cy Young Award in the National League. A guy in Philadelphia is making a lot of noise for it. Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, he is. He's
Chris Sale.
Yeah, I think. To me, I think it's Chris Sale's award to lose. You know, I think he's the odds-on favorite to get it. But Zach Wheeler's going to push him. He's going to do everything he can to try to get it, and probably 2 more starts to just go lights out. And if he can do that, and say Sale has a bad start, it could happen. You know, I mean, it could affect the overall numbers enough to where it could happen.
Absolutely could happen. Hello, Rebecca Patterson. We're live here again at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City on People Street. We would love for you to stop by here. We've not talked about it much. Go on your phone to the App Store and put in Chick-fil-A 1 and order it by that way, if you accrue enough points, get free food. At one point, you had like 7,000 points or something, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a way.
You could have bought the store.
I did a large catering order one time, and it was something crazy. I got like thousands of points for that, and
there you go.
Yeah, I used them.
Absolutely. So if you don't have it on your phone, it's real simple. Go to the App Store, scroll down, hit Chick-fil-A 1, put it on your phone, order it that way, and then you'll get points accrued. And when you get so many points, plus they send out some freebie things every now and then too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
At the App Store. So
I get quite a few of those.
Yeah, so can't go wrong with that. And that's good at any Chick-fil-A, not just here. So anywhere you go that there's a Chick-fil-A, you can use your phone app and accrue points in the process. Now, did you have the honey pepper pimento last week? Have you had it yet?
I had it 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I've had it.
Good?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good sandwich.
Pickles are what makes it.
It's got those jalapenos.
Jalapenos.
Jalapenos. They're not real hot jalapenos either. They've got a good flavor to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. They give it enough of a kick. Now, I've not had the spicy one. I haven't tried that.
I'm kind of a chicken when it comes to spicy, so I don't know.
I like the spicy sandwich, but I haven't tried that one.
Yeah. Well, I don't like. I'm not sure I like the jalapenos. I mean, I'm talking sissy. So sissy with an capital S is what I am. Comes to eating spicy food and hot stuff. But
so that one sandwich they had with those pickles, they were like bread and butter pickles, but they had a kick to them. Yeah, they were like really hot if you ate one without it being on the sandwich.
No.
And Tim was doing that one day. He was sitting here eating them, and I was just like,
I'll never forget taking this client to a Mexican restaurant. It's been about 10, 12 years ago. And so we have a lunch meeting, and so I knew him, but I didn't know him very well. And he told the guy, he said, bring me some ghost peppers.
Oh, my.
I'm not kidding you, Greg. He sat over and ate those things, and it looked like he'd it started running down his face, the sweat.
Yeah.
And I asked for a pitcher of water, and I said, it can't be good if you got to have a pitcher of water, and your sweat is rolling off this guy. I mean, I'll never forget his white shirt. It was matted to his chest. It was soaked.
Wow.
He said, man, this is so good. I said, you are a complete dodo bird to eat that. But he said, no, man, it's good. So that was ghost peppers. So
ghost peppers are hot.
He said, you want some? I said, no.
My neighbor grows those things.
Oh.
He gave me one not too long ago. I passed it on to my mom because she loves it. Hotter the better.
Ev likes ghost peppers?
She likes anything hot. Hotter the better.
Ev, you're so goofy. She watching?
She's watching.
I can say that today to her. Ev, you're so goofy. You know hot stuff. Nobody tells me that. All right, let's look at yesterday's Major League Baseball. The Braves lost again. The Redlegs got them 6-5. San Francisco shuts out Baltimore Orioles in a tailspin.
Yeah, they are.
They're struggling.
They are. They're struggling right now. I think they're still going to, so their magic number is 6 to reach a playoff spot. I think they'll get it, but, some teams may have to lose for them to get it.
We'll talk about the wild card. Got a couple teams heating up.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a moment. Minnesota beat Cleveland. Dodgers got beat by Miami, but Ohtani hit that homer.
Yeah.
Red Sox lose to Tampa Bay. The Mets beat Washington. The Mets are red hot. Detroit over Kansas City in 10. The Tigers are red hot. Philadelphia, Milwaukee behind Wheeler. The Phillies win 5-1 in Milwaukee. Oakland over the Cubs. I think, let's see, what did I read? I'll read it here in a second about Wheeler. I think they said, in fact, it's right here, they can clinch a playoff berth where they win today.
Yes.
The Phillies. So
they will be popping the champagne bottles for one team or the other tonight because either if Philadelphia wins, they will clinch a playoff berth. If Milwaukee wins, they win the Central.
So that's when they get put on them goggles. That's what I like.
Yeah.
What do we know? I mean, that's like.
I guess it burns their eyes,
I
so
guess.
they put goggles on because I mean, in years past, you've seen video of these guys with can't open their eyes because champagne's everywhere. I don't know. I've never had champagne. I don't know.
So no, I haven't either. So, but one year I can't remember. One of the teams, the guy looked like he had a hazmat uniform on. It's like he had everything covered from head to toe, and I'm thinking they're shaking that bubbly, and he's hitting the bounce off his plastic jacket. I'm thinking, somehow,
I wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, somehow it just kind of loses luster when you got to put on a hazmat uniform or thereabouts.
Yeah.
To cover yourself up in the champagne. Anyway, they're going to pop the corks tonight, one of those two teams. Other winners, Oakland beat the Cubs. Cardinals over Pittsburgh. Texas defeating Toronto. Colorado beat Arizona. The White Sox lose again. They got shut out by the Angels. Yankees beat Seattle 11-2 in Seattle. That's a big series, isn't it?
That is. That has some significant playoff significance there because Seattle's now 3 back for the wild card.
And Houston beat San Diego in 10. So here's who's playing where today. Got some good pitching matchups. Minnesota, Cleveland, Bailey, Ober, 12-7 for the Twinkies. Tanner Bobby will go 11-8 for the Indians. So a couple of over 10-game winners squaring off tonight. Then you've got in San Diego at Petco Park, Dylan Cease had a no-no earlier in the year. He's 13-11. Framber Valdez is 14-6 of the Astros. I keep thinking, I don't know why. I'm not a fan. I mean, it's not like I follow them, but something tells me Houston's going to be a team to reckon with in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they will be.
Yeah.
I really do. I think they're going to be a tough team in a short series. I think
Yep.
they will surprise some people.
Yep.
Did you see what happened with Altuve?
Yep. Took his shoe off.
Took his shoe and his sock off to show the umpire that it was a foul ball that fouled off his foot.
It was a foul ball.
It was a foul ball, but they didn't call it a foul ball.
No, he missed the call.
Yeah, he missed the call, and he got ejected from the game for
And
taking his shoe and sock off.
And he wasn't, I mean, so he's like, okay, this guy's being a jerk. No, he just took his shoe and sock off and said,
Look, this is where he
look
hit
here.
me.
My toes red. And for whatever, I don't know if they cussed him. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there.
Yeah, I don't know, but
the
it
umpire
was
went,
hilarious.
"You're
I thought it
gone."
was hilarious.
He ran him. So
That's
he
a classic way to get tossed. So if
Yeah.
you're going to do it in a humorous way, I guess. But
I went back and watched it. In fact, the highlight, I slowed it down.
Yeah.
It hit his foot.
It hit his foot.
It was a
There
foul
was no
ball.
doubt.
So tell the folks out there, they didn't rule it a foul ball. It became
They did not.
It was a ground out.
Ground
wasn't
out,
it?
yep, to third base.
So he says, hey, is this a foul ball? I said, no, it's not. It fell on my foot. No, it didn't. So he took his shoe off and his sock and showed his foot, and he got tossed. Now, there again, if that's all he did wrong, I don't see because
Yeah.
he wasn't being belligerent or anything. He just
it didn't appear that he was.
no,
but
I watched it.
Yeah.
It's like, sir, there's a red spot in my toe. I got hit with a foul ball, and he threw him out of the game. So
Yeah.
tossed him. And then a spotter came out and argued the call, but
Yeah.
it was to no avail. But
Yeah.
anyway, it was kind of comical. Here's who's playing where today. Hello, Ronnie Woods, the Runt, one of the best basketball officials ever around here. I think he retired, if I'm not mistaken. But he was very, very, very good and very fair. And they're all fair, but he was a really, really good official. We're going to miss him on wearing the stripes. I think he told me that I ran into him early this summer. I think he told me he was done. So, hello, Michael Shields. How you doing, sir? Connie Arrowwood. So, who's playing where today? Wrigley, the Cubs, and Oakland. These are day games. Colorado hosting Arizona. The White Sox and the Angels in L.A. Night games. San Francisco and Baltimore. We told you Minnesota, Cleveland. The Braves, Schwellenbach. Who's going for the Reds today? Junis or Lunas?
Jacob Junis.
Junis.
Yeah, he's 4-0.
How did I remember that?
He's 4-0.
Man, oh, man. I don't know what I did an hour ago. So,
Yeah.
Dodgers will be in Miami tonight, opening up the series there. Boston and Tampa Bay. The Mets in Washington and New York. Kansas City, Detroit, and KC. Philadelphia, Milwaukee. Aaron Nola, 12-8 for the Phillies, and Frankie Peralta, 11-8 for the Brewers tonight. That's a good matchup.
That is a good matchup.
To determine one of those teams will get in the playoffs. Sonny Gray for the Cardinals having a great year. Tennessee boys 13-9 against the Pirates tonight at Busch Stadium. Toronto at Texas, and the Yankees again in Seattle. So that's your schedule for this Wednesday, the 18th day. Let's see who's having a birthday today. Ryan Sandberg's having a birthday today. Gosh, there's somebody else in the bigs having a birthday. I've got it over there in the Magic Satchel, but I'm not going after it. I'm going to leave it alone because everything will fall out. So we're just going to leave it.
Yeah, we
just
don't
gonna
want
leave
stuff
it.
to fall
Yeah,
out.
we're just going to leave it. The filing system. All right, so let's look at the schedule heading down the stretch. Today's the 18th. So the Mets, they will finish things up tonight against Washington. Then they go home for 4 with the Phillies and 3 in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And 3 in Milwaukee. So the Mets, I mean, that is a tough stretch.
A tough way to finish the
Philadelphia,
season.
Atlanta, and Milwaukee. Wow. And 6 of those are on the road.
Yeah.
Then you look at the Atlanta Braves. What are they going to do to finish the season? They'll finish up tomorrow in Cincinnati. Then they'll go to Miami. Then the 24th, 25th, and 26th, the Mets come to town. Then they finish up the last final game of the regular season with Kansas City. So that's not easy.
It's
the Mets and the Royals. What's wrong with the Braves right now? No hitting?
Yeah, Yeah, so last night, they took a big lead in the first inning, scored 4 runs. I think in the first, maybe 3 in the first, 1 in the second. But anyway, they scored 4 runs by the second inning last night, and had a 5-1 lead at one point, but let the Reds come back, and Reds end up winning 6-5.
Coming up, we'll take a look at college football. Of course, the big story coming out of Knoxville. I'm going to get your take on this, then we'll get into the standings. They've announced we're going to tack on a 10% talent fee to your season ticket holders next year for Tennessee football.
Yeah.
To pay the players.
Yep.
Okay. Right now, I don't think anybody in Rocky Top has any problem with that because we're doing good.
Yeah.
We start going, not having the kind of year folks want. They go, oh, by golly, I ain't paying old Greg Salyer. I'm paying no money at Tom Taylor. Well, they can't even beat Florida. I guarantee it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Then you run into this. I've been studying it. You know me, I cipher a lot and I study. So I thought, okay, so this is going to go. This is all Tom Taylor thinking. You're tacking on money to the football ticket. I guess the money's going to go to the football players. Would you not think? Logically?
You would think.
All right. So all of a sudden the Lady Vols go, my girls deserve money, and they do.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden the baseball team very much deserves money because they just won a national championship.
Exactly.
So where's that money coming from? Because all of a sudden it's like, oh, it sounds good in football. Okay. And Neyland Stadium and the place is rocking and blah, blah, blah. And we get all that. But these other teams, I think last year every team, every sport at University of Tennessee went into the playoffs in postseason play. Every one of them. Wasn't a dud in any of them. And that's great. But then you go, okay, we're going to pony up money here for the football team, and that's good. That's the bell cow. But these other teams, look at my man who won the national championship in baseball.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, now if anybody deserves to get some money, we just brought you home a national title.
Yeah.
And deservedly so, they would want more money and they should get it. So now I'm thinking, does that mean we're going to see across-the-board raise on all the tickets?
I would say we will.
The Lady Vols are going to go, hey, where's our cut? Well, we've had a couple of bad years, but we're still – the brand's out there, folks, the Lady Vols, so –
Hey, I'm anxious to see what Kim Caldwell is going to do with that team. I have high hopes.
Oh, she's going to be a winner.
She is.
Yeah. You know where she came from?
I do.
West Almost Heaven, Virginia, they call it. Or as the rednecks call it, West by God, Virginia. But West Almost Heaven, Virginia is where she came from. Where'd she coach last year? The Thundering Herd. Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you again. Saturday, there's going to be a lot of crying in Columbus. The Marshall Thundering Herd, I can't keep a straight face, but we'll say it. The Marshall Thundering Herd is going to go into Columbus and whoop the Ohio State Buckeyes, going to beat them like a snare drum. Run them off the field. It's going to be a Swiffer. I can't even keep a straight face. So I did this yesterday. The guy texted me and said, do you really think that? I said, no, I don't really think that. They're going to get whooped, get a big old check, and come back to Huntington. So I mean, they could beat them, but I don't think so.
So did you see where the Marshall coach is trying to recruit some of the Ohio State players to –
biscuits.
Yeah, he's offering them biscuits.
Biscuits and honey. I love it. He's tongue-in-cheek. He said, boys, you come over here. We'll get you some biscuits over here in Huntington. Great. I love it. So anyway, Caldwell came from Marshall last year.
She did.
She's been a winner everywhere she's gone.
She's going to do well at Tennessee.
You wait and
my
see.
word.
Oh, I can't wait. And, of course, she announced a couple of weeks ago she's going to be a mama, so that adds to it. She's with child, which is great.
Yep.
So they're her and the hub about to welcome a little one in the next 7 or 8 months, which is great. So anyway, so we go back to this. This is just me thinking, but, baseball would get it. Basketball, Lady Vols, Rick Barnes, men's basketball
they've
team.
been good.
How about that?
Yeah.
What'd they go, Sweet 16 last year, if I remember right?
Yeah, I think they did, yeah.
Okay, so where's my cut of the action?
Remember they beat Creighton.
The Blue Jays.
That was kind of our
little
disagreement when we did our brackets.
We did our brackets,
And I had the Vols beating Creighton, and they did.
Yeah, and I did, and he's still rubbing it in on me. So. By the way, this is Greg's last show. He's not coming back. I'm tired of being ridiculed over the Creighton Blue Jays are crying out loud. His wife would say, Greg, let it go. Just let it go. I don't care.
I don't have many opportunities because I lose most of the time.
Me and you both. Hell yeah. That's why I'm saying Marshall's going to kill Ohio State.
Yeah.
So whatever. So anyway, But I'm just telling you, it's a very valid point down in Knoxville. And then everybody
is.
else is going to go, you know what, Tennessee's doing, we're going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You wait and see.
It's going to happen.
It's open the floodgates. All these other schools go, you know what, Tennessee's going to tag on 10%. I don't even know what season tickets cost. I have no clue. I've only been down there once, and I got tickets from State Representative Holtzclaw back in the day. So I don't even know what a season ticket cost at Tennessee. So I don't even know what 10% would mean. So let's say it's $1,000, and I don't know if that's it or not. So 10% is another $100. So
that'd be a nosebleed seat.
Yeah,
I bet.
I'm sure. I have no clue what if you know out there, what is a season ticket cost?
I don't know.
At UT, I have no clue. All right, let's jump in baseball. Here we go. We'll start in the National League. The Phillies, the best team in baseball right now, 91-60. They're 8 above the Mets, 9 above, 10 above the Braves. They're going to nail it down tonight or tomorrow night. At some point,
they will.
They're going to nail it as far as the playoff berth. So, hello, Timmy and Stephanie Garland. Hello to Keith Willis. The Mets and Braves are now duking it out for that wild card spot. We'll talk about that in a moment. The Brewers, they've won it. Cubs, Cardinals can't reach them with 10 games left unless Milwaukee just doesn't come.
It's one game, so they got all the Brewers have to do is win one game.
Yep. What's interesting is the second best team in baseball is in a dogfight right now.
Mm-hmm.
Only 3.5 between them and the Padres. Now that's going to be tough to do, but at least it's doable.
Mm-hmm.
3.5 games separate the Dodgers and the Padres from the NL West crown. The Dodgers probably will hang on, but the Padres are making it interesting.
They are, yeah. That's a good pennant race right there, or a good division race, and like we're saying in the East and in the Central, it's pretty much wrapped up at this point. But in the West, the Padres are making it interesting, and they've still got a chance. It's not a great chance, but they got a chance.
Wild card right now is San Diego. The Mets have leapfrogged up Arizona. They're in second place. Arizona's in third, and the Braves are 2 out. And it's a big series coming up this weekend, no question, for Atlanta.
Yeah, that's right. So it looks like it's going to come down to those 4 teams and see what Atlanta's able to do.
Yeah.
But going head-to-head against the Mets, they'll have to sweep them, I think.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to sweep them
right. Yeah.
in order to get there.
And they got them in Atlanta. So
they've got a good chance of doing it.
Yep. In the American League, in the East, the Yankees 4 better than Baltimore. In the Central, Cleveland 5 better than Kansas City. And in the West, Houston 5 better than Seattle. Are those, for all intents and purposes, locked up?
Probably. I mean, there's still a chance, for if Baltimore could get really, really hot, which there haven't been. They've been 3-7 and out of their last 10 and lost 2 in a row right now. They would have to get really hot, I think, to catch the Yankees. The other teams are 5 games back, the Seattle Mariners and the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City's going to be in, I think, anyway. Seattle's still on the outside looking in because they're 3 games back in the wild card. So Seattle, I think their best bet would be able to get that to come back from those 5 games back over Houston. But Houston's going to have to go to a tailspin. Seattle's going to have to go on a winning streak.
So right now the wild card in the American League, if we start up today and play, to be Baltimore, Kansas City, Minnesota. Detroit, a game and a half out. They're playing good baseball.
They are making it real interesting.
They are.
And that's fantastic. I love to see that, you know, because we didn't give them a puncher's chance, we really didn't. And wouldn't that be interesting if they could make up that game and a half and catch Minnesota?
Was it last year or the year before they just did a total, okay, we're going to sell out and start over?
They had that horrible season, 100-loss season, and they did that. They just said, we're going to just do a total rebuild, and
they have.
And
it's worked.
And it's worked.
Yeah. So Detroit's a game and a half out with the wild card, and Seattle's 3 out. So those two, certainly Minnesota's looking over the shoulder, and they should be, because they're coming. And Arizona, they continue to falter a little bit. The Braves just got to get it going, and then maybe they'll do it today against Cincinnati. And then what comes up next for the Braves? They have
the Mets coming up, and
here we go.
The Marlins, and then the Mets.
Yep, they go to Miami. Then they come in for the 24th, 25th, 26th for the Mets.
Those are the last 6 games for them, though. 3 against the Mets, 3 against Kansas City. That's
it.
That's going to be crucial for them.
That's a telltale for the season.
Yep.
All right, we do this every week. See if it's changed. We started today with the World Series. Who's your American League team? Who's your National League team, sir?
All
Mr. Baseball.
All right.
Abigail says, my daddy's been called, she's over there, by the way.
Yeah.
His daughter, Mr. Baseball. She grins every time I say that. So, who do you think?
Yeah. So if I had to make a guess at this point, who do I think is going to? I would guess Philadelphia in the National League. I think I like them a whole lot. And in the American League, I'm going to say, let's say the Yankees right now. I'm changing it up every week.
I wouldn't. So,
but I'm going to say the Yankees in Philadelphia.
I would say the Phillies. Again, I go back to say Houston. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Something about Houston, I don't know. So they quietly, they started out stinking it up, got it turned around, got the pitching back. They got Scherzer, Verlander rather, not Scherzer, but Verlander. No. One's in Texas, one's in Houston. Verlander's in Houston.
Yeah, Scherzer's in Texas.
All right, Verlander's there. Framber Valdez. At Blanco, didn't he throw a no-hitter earlier in the year?
He did, yeah.
So they got a pretty
almost through a second one.
Yeah, that's right. So, and I have nothing to base on, just an old gut feeling. The Astros.
I don't disagree with you.
And the Phillies.
I think they could do well.
Yeah, the Dodgers falter every year in the postseason, so until he can prove to me they can get through a postseason and do what they're supposed to do, and that's what all the Dodger fans say. Well, we're second best team in baseball. We don't do anything in postseason.
Yeah,
and they're right.
That's exactly right. And a lot of times it's how you build your team. They've got a team that's built to win their division, but maybe not win a short series against some of these other teams. And injuries play a big role in that too. And they've been hit hard with injuries, especially the pitching staff.
Yeah.
So that makes a difference.
And Walker Buehler had a big turn the other night. Did a really, really good job of his turn on the mound.
Yeah.
And Landon Knight from Johnson City, being a big contributor. We forget.
Yeah.
We gloss over and forget him, but
we
man,
do forget him a lot. Yeah, we need to talk more about him.
Kid from Johnson City, Science Hill, from right here in Johnson City, pitching for the Dodgers in the starting rotation, the second best team in baseball. That's a big deal. We should be very proud of him, and we are. So, big deal, big stuff. So you've got Philadelphia, Yankees.
Yeah,
I've got the.
I'll
Phillies,
change it
Houston.
next week.
Oh, I'll change it when he goes over there. I go, I probably don't want to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, I'm
it's
sliding.
just a gut feelings all we're going on.
Absolutely. But the Guardians, the Yankees.
Yeah. I picked the Guardians.
Yeah.
I think they got a good chance too.
Yeah. They're probably the most under the radar baseball team out there.
They are, definitely.
We talk all about the Yankees, the Orioles. We have mentioned for the betterment here in the last 7 or 8 minutes, American League. We're just now mentioning Cleveland. And they are 87-65. They're 22 over. They're a good, solid baseball team.
They are.
There you go. All right, anything else to cover it? You hungry?
Yes, sir, I'm hungry.
Abigail, you hungry? Okay. She's a piece of work. This is Mr. Baseball Boy. This is your daddy. That's not what I call him. That's okay. But we call him Mr. Baseball.
Mr. Baseball.
See you next week?
Yes, sir.
All right, good job. Quick break. We've got Milligan Volleyball coming up Saturday, and here's someone to tell you all about it here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Coming up next, we'll take a look at more college football. It's exciting Milligan University volleyball. Hi, this is Tom Taylor, inviting you to join me this Saturday from Steve Lacy Fieldhouse on the campus of Milligan University for a Milligan volleyball doubleheader. First match against the St. Andrews Lady Knights starting at 10:50 and the Lees McRae Lady Bobcats at 2:50. It's a Milligan volleyball doubleheader. It all starts at 10:50 this Saturday here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Go Milligan Buffaloes. We're back. We're ready to go. Andrew Lewis, Northeast Community Credit Union. Readers are winners. Year number 2. We're jacked up to do it again this year.
We're so excited.
Yep, we are excited. And so it's a chance for these kids at Eastside Elementary, Westside Elementary, and Harold McCormick Elementary win some cool prizes for reading. What's going on?
The first 9 weeks, we're going to be giving out those cool water bottles. Second 9 weeks, T-shirts.
T-shirts with a new design.
Absolutely. New color, all that fun stuff. The third 9 weeks, we're going to have a sweet new sticker. We'll get more into that later. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Whole point is readers are winners year number 2 at the 3 elementary schools and Elizabethton City Schools. Thanks to Northeast Community Credit Union. They're paying for all this through their corporate sponsor, and we love them for doing that. The bottom line is leaders are readers, readers are winners. Year number 2, getting ready to get started up soon, like right now, right away, for all these youngsters, again, at Harold McCormick, West Side and East Side Elementary. Big thanks to the Northeast Community Credit Union for partnering with us to do Readers Are Winners in Elizabethton City Schools.
In a world where cluttered trash and debris threaten your property, one man is ready to save the day. He's Container Man, your dumpster delivery superhero. Need to clear out your garage? Call Container Man. Remodeling your home? Call Container Man. Demolition waste taking over your job site? Call Container Man. From minor to major projects, Container Man has the perfect size dumpster for every task. With lightning fast delivery and the customer service of a locally owned company, he will help you restore order to your world. When you're ready to fight cluttered trash and debris, call Container Man.
And back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We are live here again at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City on this gorgeous Wednesday. Very nice outside. Again, Rick told us he's watching Pensacola, mid-80s down to the beach in Pensacola, Florida, where I would like to be. A big toe stuck in the sand would be good. Hello, Diane Cup. How you doing, young lady? Very, very nice young lady. Hello, Keith Willis. Thank you for watching. Timmy and Stephanie Garland. So thank you all for watching, and can't thank you enough for that. Who's playing where in high school football on Friday night? Let's run back down the schedule for you. In no particular order, Dobbins Minute goes to Asheville, North Carolina. Crockett plays at Conn County Friday night at Newport. Happy Valley travels to Eagleton. Sullivan East will be at Granger to battle the Grizzlies. Morristown East at Jefferson County. Greenville will be at Morristown West. Good matchup there. Cherokee at Northview Academy on Friday night. Volunteer and Cloudland have the week off. Maryville, as we talked to Coach Carter earlier, will be at Science Hill. You have Sevier County playing at the Stone Castle against the Tennessee High Vikings. Unaka hosting Jellicoe. South Green will be at Union County. Unicoi County travels to West Green and Westridge. The Wolves will be at William Blount to battle the Governors. And that's your schedule for this Friday night. Our broadcast let's do it right now. We'll come back and we're going to take a look at college football. But first, let you know where we're going to be Friday night. Right down the road, we're going to be ready to bring it to you from William B. Green Jr. Stadium on the campus of East Tennessee State University. It's exciting Elizabethton Cyclone football. Hi, this is Tom Taylor, inviting you to join Richard Van Huss and yours truly this Friday night from East Tennessee State University as the Cyclones go for their third win in a row as they battle the winless Daniel Boone Trailblazers. Airtime at 6:20. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. The Cyclones and Daniel Boone from East Tennessee State. It all starts at 6:20 this Friday night here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Go Fighting Cyclones. And back at the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're going to be tomorrow. We'll be at the Eagle Center Antique Store in downtown Elizabethton. Can't wait. We'll be there with Tammy Troutman. And, of course, this weekend is Covered Bridge Days in Elizabethton. Friday night, you got the outstanding, talented Daniel Grindstaff, who had the #1 single in the country for the betterment of the summer. Forever Young, the remake of the copy of Rod Stewart's classic song. In fact, he got a text. I go to church with him. And he got a text from Rod Stewart saying, congratulations on taking my song and going to #1. That is awesome. Rod Stewart texting Daniel Grindstaff and congratulating him on his song going #1 with help from Dolly Parton, who's on the song, which is pretty good company. He'll be there on Friday night, free entertainment downtown on the Covered Bridge. On Saturday, Carson Peters and Iron Mountain out warming things up. And then you'll come back with Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder. These are free concerts. All you need to do is bring money for food to the food trucks and a lawn chair. Free music. Sunday, Jason Crabb coming to town from the Crabb family. Gosh, Through the Fire, Daystar, Please Forgive Me. I'm thinking some of the songs he's made famous. from the Crab family, the Gaither videos. He'll be in concert free on Sunday afternoon at the Cover Bridge. So some great, great talent. Incredibly good talent. Daniel Grindstaff on Friday night. He's local. He's one of us. Saturday, Carson Peters. He's one of us. And his band, Iron Mountain. Then Saturday evening, right after that, the headliner will be Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder. Place will be packed. These are free outdoor concerts, downtown Elizabethton. Then on Sunday, Jason Crabb and the Crab family. Whoa. And that old boy can sing. He's got a testimony, too. You know, when you get around these Southern gospel singers, everybody thinks that they got it made in the shape. No, it ain't been no bed of roses for him. He's had some tough things going in his life, like all of us. So, anyway, it is what it is, but he'll be there. And so he's got a great testimony to tell you, plus some great singing as well. That'll be coming up again. That'll be going on Sunday. All right, here's the verse today. We always dedicate our show to the man who hung on the cross. We're getting into some college football. Psalm 66:20 says, "Praise be to God who has not rejected my prayer or withheld his love from me." And that is powerful. Psalm 66:20, "Praise be to God who has not rejected my prayer." Do we live for him like we're supposed to all the time? Well, of course not. Has he turned away? No. Who has not rejected my prayer or withheld his love from me. It's powerful. Psalms 66:20. Hello to Sherry Norval. I guess that's the one I went to high school with back in the day. Funny lady. Always made me laugh, but she was always cutting up. Funny lady. I guess that's her. I'm getting more and more folks from West Virginia watching the show, and that's great because that's home. It's always going to be home. That's roots in the hills of West Virginia. Anyway, hello, Sherry. Hope that's you. Sonia Carden, hello to you, young lady. All right, college football, top 25. Who plays where? Friday night, pretty good matchup. 24th ranked Illinois will be at number 22 Nebraska. On Saturday, the early games, 21st ranked Clemson against NC State. This is a prove-me game for both teams. Clemson gets the big win over Appalachian State. North Carolina State gets throttled by Tennessee. So it's like, okay, who's the real team here? Will the real football team stand up? And we'll see. On Saturday at noon at Clemson, they're 21st in the country. NC State's unranked. Third-ranked Ohio State. I've already talked about this. My Thundering Herd. Greg, here we go. My Thundering Herd will go into Columbus and beat them like a snare drum. We can't even give a straight face. Wishful thinking, I know. But that's my alma mater. We are Marshall. Love it. Watched the movie, what was it, one night last week I watched it. Love it. Love it, love it. We bleed green. Thundering Herd. Alma mater. Anyway, they go to Ohio State, 12 o'clock kickoff. Buckeyes, obviously heavily favored. Third ranked in the country. 20th ranked Iowa State will host Arkansas State. 10th ranked Penn State, home to Kent State. Pretty good matchup at 3:30 in Michigan. 18th ranked Wolverines will host 11th ranked Southern Cal. Pretty good matchup there. 16th ranked LSU, a 3:30 kick against UCLA in Baton Rouge. 17th ranked Notre Dame hosting Miami of Ohio. These are all afternoon games. 19th ranked Louisville, the Cardinals hosting Georgia Tech. 23rd ranked Northern Illinois hosting Buffalo. 4 o'clock games on Saturday. The Cowboys of Oklahoma State, 14th in the country. They will host 12th ranked Utah. Good matchup, top 25. Cowboys and the Utes from Utah. 7th ranked Missouri hosting Vanderbilt on Saturday. Now we get into the night games. 8th ranked Miami of Florida goes to South Florida. Of course, the big one here, Tennessee and Oklahoma. Tennessee number 6 in the country. Oklahoma at number 15 will start at 7:30 on ABC. 7:30 kickoff. 25th ranked Texas A&M hosting Bowling Green. 5th ranked Ole Miss home to Georgia Southern. Top ranked Texas hosting University of Louisiana Monroe. That's Willie and the boys from Duck Dynasty. And then 13th ranked Kansas State will be at BYU. The Roberts and Cy and Jace and Willie. Willie went to University of Louisiana Monroe, so they'll play number 1 Texas. And then 13th ranked Kansas State will be at BYU. That's your matchups involving top 25 teams this weekend in college football. NASCAR, the racing this weekend in Bristol, right up the road. Triple header starting tomorrow night. You have the truck race, the UNOH 200 presented by Ohio Logistics. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock at Bristol Motor Speedway. On Friday night, the Food City 300. Dale Jr.'s back to race in that race. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 7:30 on Friday night. And on Saturday at 7:30, the Bass Pro Shop NRA night race. So, except NRA is not the sponsor anymore. I say that by habit. The Bass Pro Shop night race beginning at 7:30 on Saturday. All that at Bristol Motor Speedway, 20 miles up the road from where we are. So, got some up-and-comers, which is interesting. Bristol's one of the toughest tracks in all of NASCAR. If you've not been there, you're running 14, 15-second laps, going 120 miles an hour. And at any point in time, you can think you're going good, and all of a sudden something happens. Somebody in front of you, and your spotter's going, he's on the intercom. The spotter's up on top of the roof of the facility. Again, sending down messages to the crews like, oh, wreck in 2, go low, go low, go low. Go high. There's a wreck in 3. So you can get caught up in something real quick at Bristol. So having said all that, some of these guys making their National Series debut at Bristol. Rising sprint car star Corey Day will be in the truck race tomorrow night. So also Connor Zilisch, 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 the 18-year-old sensation. He won the race last week at Watkins Glen in the Xfinity Series. Will drive the number 7 Chevrolet in the truck race tomorrow night. Pretty cool. Let's see here. What else going on? We told you Dale Jr. is going to be there. Class of 2021 inductee of the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Will race Friday night. His only race of the season, he's racing in Bristol. It's his favorite track. He's set up many times. 15-time most popular driver and 26-time winner in the Cup competition. Came back to Bristol in 2023. Last season led 47 laps before he had a mechanical issue. He'll be in the number 88 Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports. So Junior's racing up there Friday night at Bristol. That'll sell tickets. Also on Friday night, Dale Jr.'s nephew, Jeffrey Earnhardt, is going to be racing. He'll drive the number 26 Toyota for Sam Hunt Racing. Food City starts at 7 o'clock on Friday night. I told you Ross Chastain will be at the Food City here in Gray or up the road at 7:30 on Friday night for an autograph session. A little meet and greet. So if you want to meet Ross Chastain, he's the one when he wins races, those watermelons, because he came from a watermelon farm in Florida, I believe is where he's from, or Georgia. I'm pretty sure it's Florida. And so when he wins races, when his stick, he'll stand on top of the car and throw a watermelon off and bust it in victory lane. There you go. So anyway, that's what's coming up. Triple hitter at Bristol. It's the playoff cutoff race. We started with 16 drivers coming out of the regular season. They raced in Atlanta. Joey Logano won that one, so he's automatically qualified for the next round. Last week's race in Watkins Glen was won by a non-playoff driver, Chris Buescher. So it didn't really make any – it did, but it didn't need leeway as far as who's going to be running for the championship. And so Saturday night at Bristol is the cutoff race. You'll go from 16 down to 12. And so some guys are on the bubble. There's 4 guys hanging in the balance for this race. And so anything can happen. Kyle Busch owns the track. No doubt the last 10, 15 years, the most successful driver at Bristol has been Kyle Busch. He's not in the playoffs, but he can certainly play spoiler. So the only guy guaranteed to move on to the next round is Joey Logano by virtue of winning the first playoff race in Atlanta. So point being is a lot of tension, a lot at stake, a lot of nerves. At every lap you're a bump away or a wreck away from being knocked out of the race. So it's going to be tense, to say the least, for those. Well, Logano's already in for the next round of the playoffs by winning. So those other 15 drivers in the playoffs is going to be very tense. And, of course, NASCAR is the only sport that everybody's out there still running. You know, the Super Bowl, 2 teams. World Series, 2 teams. NBA Championship, 2 teams. March Madness Final Four college basketball, 2 teams. Everybody else eliminated. In NASCAR, the guys that didn't win are not in the playoffs, still out there racing against the guys that are in. and they can ruin your day. Chris Buescher won the race last week. He's not in the playoffs. Or somebody can inadvertently wreck you or intentionally wreck you. It's the other way to look at it, too, because that does happen. I promise you. I was up there long enough to be around it to know that it does happen. Paybacks. And you'll get some paybacks this weekend, too. So some of these guys will get their yah-yahs out because their guy got knocked out or they're knocked out. And you got teams that say, okay, you see old Tom Taylor out there, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but remember what he did to us down in Darlington. Remember what happened with you and him in Kansas or Daytona. So just remember that. Plant that seed. Tom, that doesn't happen. No, of course not. No. If you believe that, you're smoking something. It very much happens. So everybody remembers. Trust me. Everybody remembers. All right, quick break. We'll be right back right after this from one of our great sponsors, Making It Go. Couldn't be here without them. Remember that. And this will be from the good folks from Advanced Heat Pump Systems on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Season's beginning to change a little bit. It's a little bit cooler here at night. Not cold, but it's cooler. Good time to get your heat pump serviced and ready to go, whether it's a church, your home, your church, your business, or all three. Get them ready for the wintertime with a tune-up from Advanced Heat Pump Systems on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
It's important to hire a professional because you want a quality, trained, and licensed person working in your home. All of my staff are factory trained and have years of experience. With today's technology in heating and air conditioning systems, you want a trained professional working on your system. Our motivation to provide our customers with the best service is years of experience. We've been in business for 35 years and we plan on being in business for another 35 years, so we want to make our customers happy.
Hey, it's your girl Mayani. A little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Cobb salad is the chicken, literally the nuggets, they smack. When you put those nuggets in the salad, it just brings the salad to life. I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
Hi, I'm Jasmine, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A market salad is that the chicken is super juicy and the apples can be a little tangy, also a little sweet as well, so there's just a ton of different flavors. It's just so good.
At Chick-fil-A Caraway Village, we always look forward to seeing Ellie. Nick also.
Ellie just gets excited and bolts right towards him.
She loves to come and get the bag and trots right back to Nick.
We never even had to ask them to hand her the bag. The team members just automatically knew to do it. It was just that little thing, that level of customer service that kind of blew my mind.
We're just really glad that Nick shared Ellie with us. We take care of our guests, whether they're two-legged or four-legged.
If you missed last Friday night's 41-13 win over Cherokee, you missed these Elizabethton Fighting Cyclone highlights. 5:25 to go in the period. Cyclones in the red zone. Second down and 3 from the 9. Get it to the 6, get a new set of downs. Wallen back there with Slagle. Two to the near side, the wide side of the field, but come this way. Those guys, Smalls and Adams, for blocking purposes. Slagle to run it. Red goes down inside the 5. He pushes hard. He gets down inside. Touchdown, Cyclones. Touchdown, Red Slagle from 9 yards out.
Well, to me, that's a picture-perfect drive. Who one ball completed it, but several people carried the ball, got the quarterback involved in the run game. I think that was the key to the game, was to establish this early, and they did a great job.
Bowers for the point after. White had to hold it right down the field. Power football. 80-yard drive, capped off by 9-yard Red Slagle, quarterback keeper. Ball down. It's up. It's into red. It's the number 10 of the season. It is 7-0 Cyclones. Now this from Eagle Center. You're watching Elizabethton Fighting Cyclone football. 34-yard line. 9:45 to go in the half. Tie ball game. Slagle claps his hands off, turns a corner. Got Buckles, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Cyclone, touchdown, Landry Buckles from 34 yards out.
Great job. blocking on the outside. Great job making a cut by Landry.
First and 10 Cyclones. Hand off.
Shoot,
the
shoot,
train.
shoot. There
40,
it goes.
35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. The J Train. 48-yard rumble for the J Train. Woo!
That's good stuff, Tom.
Third down will also showcase the band. Puts the man in motion. Wallen fakes it to him. Down the middle's got a man wide open. Touchdown. Cyclones. Third down, 11, 29-yard line. Cyclones try to ring them cowbells and stomp those feet. Trying to take the momentum back away from Cherokee in the opening drive here in the second half. Jeffers looking. Jeffers looking. Plenty of time. Throws over middle sidearm. It's going to be incomplete. Picked off. Tucker Taylor at the 45, at the 40, and Tuck's got it for the INT to the 34-yard line. It ricocheted off number 11. That would have been and was Lofton Hayes and Tucker Taylor there for the Cyclone interception. Coach, the first and 10 with the 11. Knocking on the door of the red zone. The J Train out there again. Maybe another dose. Slagle hands it off to the Train. Train, he'll barrel him, man. Oh, baby. He's in a 10. He's in a 5. He's in. He obliterated the Chiefs. Touchdown, Cyclones. Touchdown, the J Train. Holy smokes.
Oh, what a run.
From the 9-yard line. Hand off to Justice. Wallen stumbled. Stays on his feet, goes to the outside. He'll bounce off him inside. Touchdown, Justice Wallen. Touchdown, Elizabethton Cyclones from 9 yards out. Tune in here this Friday night, beginning at 6:20, versus Daniel Boone for exciting Elizabethton Fighting Cyclone football. Back with the Tom Bailey Sports Show. We'll have that for you Friday night starting at 6:20. The Cyclones and the Daniel Boone Trailblazers from East Tennessee State University. Let's bring it up right here. Last thing before we get out of here. Brent Venables, head coach of Oklahoma. Of course, there now. Hello, Jessica Tester. How you doing, lady? And J.J. Reese and Rochelle Black and Jennifer Campbell and Pete Welch, Sonia Carden. We said hello to you kids. Sherry McSpadden up yonder in West Virginia. So Venables and Oklahoma, as you know, joining the Southeastern Conference. This is their first game in the new league. Here's Brent Venables, head coach of Oklahoma, talking about joining the Southeastern Conference on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Well, again, I think it's a partnership of elite with elite. And, you know, again, two programs that in the history of college football take a backseat to nobody. The SEC doesn't take a backseat to anybody. From our leadership to the quality of the teams, and really it's every single athletic team on those campuses. It's unmatched, and so we both have programs that have had elite level success with all of our athletic programs, certainly football included, and I just think it fortifies what was already the strongest conference in all of college football.
There you go. It's a big deal to be at 7:30 on Saturday again from Oklahoma. The Sooners and the Tennessee Volunteers. Good way to end it. Thanks for watching the show. Do it again tomorrow. We'll be at the Eagle Center Antique Store in downtown Elizabeth. It's a cool place. Voted the #1 antique store in the Tri-Cities. And so we're very excited about that. We'll be there tomorrow. All kinds of goodies. So we told you earlier in the broadcast that this weekend is the Covered Bridge Days in Elizabethton. So tomorrow's theme's going to be things about the Covered Bridge, which is kind of for those of you out-of-state folks watching, we appreciate that. Landmark, the face of Elizabethton is the Covered Bridge. It's still operable. It's blocked off. You can walk across it, ride your bike across whatever, but you can't. Cars or traffic's no longer on it for the safety of the bridge, but it's still very good shape. Anyway, the Covered Bridge is what kind of like the landmark of Elizabethton. You can go on the website and look it up. It's really cool. Anyway, there's a Covered Bridge celebration in September every year to celebrate the Covered Bridge Days. And so the antique store is in downtown Elizabethton where we will be tomorrow. Looking forward to being there, broadcasting live. Friday, we'll kick off the weekend at Food City. Our local grocery store chain is now mushroomed into 5 states. We're in Kentucky, Virginia, here in Tennessee, Georgia, and now we're in Alabama. 140-some stores now. Again, in food cities. So we'll be there on Friday, kicking all the weekend. Got great specials all throughout the store, obviously. We'll tell you all about that on Friday. Back with you tomorrow again at, as we said, the Eagle Center. It's the antique store in downtown Elizabeth. It's really cool. I lose money every time I go in there. I end up buying something she'll bring to the show and tell. And every time she brings stuff to show and tell, she sells a lot of the stuff we showcase. She being Tammy, the owner. We'll be there tomorrow with some guests ready to go. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We always wrap up our show today, show number 2,150. We've been at it for 8 years, 9 years, still going strong. Thank you to Greg Salyer stopping by, Mr. Baseball. Stacy Carter, head football coach at Science Hill. Andrew Smith, sports writer for the Johnson City Press. Thanks to all those guys, and thanks to you watching the show. And thanks, of course, to Chick-fil-A being here. We've been coming over here now for 10 years, and we appreciate that very much. We come here every Wednesday. Tomorrow, Eagle Center. Hope to see you then. Hope you'll pop up on the screen and say you're watching. We appreciate that. Be sure and like and share the show. Until we greet you tomorrow, we'll say, as my mama always said, going down to catch the bus in the hills of West Virginia, bloom where you're planted, boys. Mommy said it every morning. Bloom where you're planted. Bloom where you're planted. There you go. It's a good point. It's a good thing to say, bloom where you're planted. When you come into the room, they go, oh, gosh, here comes Tom. Or, hey, here comes Tom. There you go. Same with you. When they see you coming, they're glad to see you. Or go, oh, gosh, find something to do. Here he comes. So bloom where you're planted. And win or lose, be a good sport. Moms and dads, please, win or lose, be a good sport. How many people I've seen, it's every game. People go nuts at these games. And I get it. I want mine to do good, too. I get it. But my case, she's 15 years old. She's going to shoot him. She's going to miss a layup. She's going to dribble the ball for a foot out of bounds. She's going to, miss a shot she shouldn't have missed. I get it. They're kids. He's going to drop that ball when the pass is thrown to him. He's going to fumble the ball. I get all that. We get it. They're kids. Remember that. Win or lose, be a good sport. Moms and dads, guardians, grandparents, whoever. Your kids, or in this case grandkids, they watch you. You don't think they do, you're smoking something. They absolutely do. So win or lose, be a good sport. Take it for what it is. And enjoy the game. Cheer them on. Hope they do well. When it's over, love on them. Get in the car, browbeat them over the game they didn't have, that you messed up here. They don't trust me. I played. When I had a bad game, you didn't have to tell me. I knew I had a bad game, and you would too. If you had a bad day at the office or a bad day at work, you know that. You don't have to be told. If you had a good day, you know that too. So if you had a good day or a bad day, you don't need to be told. You know that. So, but you do need to be shown and told and reminded you are loved, no matter whether you make every shot or miss every shot. And the officials, they're going to miss them. They're human. My suggestion has always been, if you don't like the way the officiating is, grab a whistle and some stripes and come out there and see, because it ain't. I did it one year. It ain't easy. I promise you. You think it is? I was a basketball official for a year. I got out of broadcasting for a year to rest my voice, just to get out. So I became a basketball official, and it is, whoa, easy. My boy TR back here behind me, my bud. So if you don't like the way it's going officiating, get you some stripes and a whistle and join them, because they're looking for officials. It's not as easy as you think. And after you call the game, you'll go, you know what, I think I'm going to be quiet from here, because this ain't the speed of the game. You're trying to be out in front of it and making a call split second, and half the gym's going to get mad at you because it's going to be the wrong call for no more to get paid. Yeah. So, anyway, win or lose, be a good sport. That's how we end it. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 11 o'clock with the Eagle Center in Elizabethton on show tomorrow, number 2151 of the Tom Bailey Sports Show. Today are emanating and originating from Chick-fil-A in Johnson City, the home of the honey pepper pimento sandwich right now, and